Atmosphere is one of the ways in which art can define itself. We could see it in paintings, draping a clear picture designed to make us feel something. A perfect mixture of colors and subject placement, along with the opacity, all designed to make anyone see the soul of the creator. We could see it in music, with its carefully placed notes and bars that can make us go anywhere, wherever the composer wants us to be. It could be the coldest day of the year, yet a tone could take us down to a beautiful Sunset Boulevard on a hot summer's day. Film. It takes it another step further, combining both the visual stimulus of paintings and the auditory stimulus of music, where the audience can suspend their disbelief long enough to cry, and even fall in love with fictional characters. Video games, of course, are the natural progression forward, combining everything art had and throws it all at us. But what sets it apart from another movie or another painting is our viewer involvement. Where before, the audience was separate, apart from the action, separated by a fourth wall. This time, we are in the thick of it, right in the middle. Everything's happening around us, all at once. Nevertheless, it is always atmosphere that is the front and center to create those lasting memories. With that being said, let's think on Coffee Talk. Another cold and wet night in Seattle after a hard day of work. You glance at the time. Yep, it looks like it's going to be another one of those restless nights. Until you turn the corner and in the midst of the mist of the rain, a bright inviting cafe takes you by the arm and gently guides you towards its warm embrace. Hi everybody, welcome to Coffee Talk. Developed by Toge Productions, it is an inviting visual novel about a cafe that opens exclusively at night. It is important to note that this game takes place in late 2020 and also set in urban fantasy. To those unprompted, urban fantasy is sort of like everything fantasy related, Dungeons and Dragons, etc., and taking place in a modern setting using modern technologies. Think something along the lines like Onward, like Pixar's Onward, for example, or Netflix's Bright. Such is the setting of urban fantasy. It is where elves and succubuses can date each other, and an ogre can give dating advice to an alien. The setting is super interesting, along with the presentation that initially when I first saw it in the eShop, I really got excited for and was like, and I was, this is really good. I'm gonna take a bite out of that. Little did I know what beyond and what more the game had presented to itself. Today we'll take a look at it. And to see, is this game worth it? How does it hold up? And how does it compare to the medium? If the game is any good? And should you play it? Alright, so let's cover the basics so everyone's on the same page. What is a visual novel? Well, it's in the name, visual novel. It is the next step above graphic novels and a step below a video. Basically, I really want to emphasize that they're more in the sense a graphic novel and less a video game. The thing that separates the medium is choice. Many graphic novels are static with choice, i.e., they're one set linear story to tell from start to end. It is a set guided experience you can't change. And unfortunately, many visual novels are that static story where the player just sits there and plays it out. Visual novels are boring for me, at least. Many times I was just reading and with PNGs moving around occasionally, and the occasional screen shake. I'm a gamer, damn it. If I wanted to read something, I'd read the back of the box. Okay, I understand that not every visual novel is bland. Sometimes they come with unique premises. For example, Doki Doki Literature Club. It takes the tropes of the typical romantic visual novel and actually takes advantage of the medium it's in, video games, to bring a terrific experience. And in the worst case scenario, visual novels include a simple game you play throughout. Honey Pop is an example. An erotic visual novel has you play a tile matching game that contributes to your completion. It has a strong atmosphere. The whole game takes place behind the counter of a cafe. You play as the sole barista, just watching and listening to people and their problems. And each of your regulars interact and bounce off each other. Every person looks like the main character of their own game. And on top of that, no character feels the same. Each have unique scenarios and situations. The world is set in urban fantasy, and apart from the excuse for unique character design, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's not the front of the story or a selling point in the box. Thematically, it is unnecessary, but without it, it loses its interest. Although, I have to admit, it does play a minor role towards the end of the game, which I won't spoil. I personally am not comfortable calling the playable character the main character. You are not really a character so much. I will go as far as to say as you are as much as a character as the machine you make coffee with. You are more of a static character. A static character is someone who doesn't change and, well, remains static. They typically act as an anchor to the world in which the world around them changes. Think Goku from Dragon Ball. He never changes through the entire story, but his world adapts around him. The title of main character, I think, belongs to Freya. We see her almost every day, and we see her journey from start to end, being a tired reporter into a new author in a span of 2 months? Although every other character feels like an archetype, it is their story and how they change and morph that impacts the story the most. Other than reading, this game also has things to do which set it apart every so often. It will ask you for a drink, whereas you make tea, coffee, or anything in between. Adding to that, every combination makes a different drink, down to the order of ingredients. Side note, a few drinks have the option to make latte art in-game. And there's a super fun little mini-game for you to mess around with to create latte art. During the game, if you don't feel like playing, you have a phone you could bring up and read about the articles around the world around you. Your social media where you could read up on the regulars and learn more about them, and even music tracks. Speaking of which, the music in this game is the real cherry on top, prescribed with low hip-hop beats you could listen and fall asleep to. The whole game is like a big NyQuil where you could just drink it up and relax into a carefree, calm state of existing. I think the best part about this game, hands down, is the visuals themselves. Just look at it! Everything in this game is pixelated to perfection. Something else I say that goes above all visual novels is movement. These characters go through the actions, they blink, they laugh, they cry. They have just as much visual depth as the characters themselves. And the background, oh god, the background, have you seen it? It is alive. It is not a single PNG of an airport or an empty classroom. It is thrilling with life and movement. The city is under heavy rain constantly, and the people casually stroll in and out your shop, their silhouettes bobbing up and down slowly, creating the illusion of the vivid city of Seattle. This game has excellent sound design. You could turn off the music, and I'd spend hours listening to the quiet streets of Seattle, getting lost in the sound. And everything else. When people come in, you hear a little ring. When you make coffee, you hear the pours and, well, the machine go at it. Look at it this way. This game solves a lot of my gripes with the visual novel medium. As I previously said, I believe that the medium has become stale. It's not best utilizing the power of video games to deliver us the next best thing. It's holding itself back. I personally don't think the medium has reached its full potential yet. And I believe it's becoming stale. It's become stale. Only a few gems amongst the endless piles really stand out. Going back to the obvious examples, Doki Doki Literature Club, this game you could add on to it, Valhalla, all of these really adapt the medium more than what we've seen prior. And it's not a bunch of PNGs flopping around. They have animation, depth, life breathed into it. This isn't a novel with pictures, it shouldn't be. We gotta take more advantage of the things we have at our disposal. Coffee Talk is just one of those titles that's the next future, the next evolution for the medium. I don't want this trend to fizzle out and become bland. I want it to keep growing and developing so they could give us more hits like these. All these games are interesting in their own right and offer us great atmosphere. And that's all I want developers to realize, that there are more than PNGs and scantily clad women. There can be actual emotional depth and very good storytelling to be a good game. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, thank you very much for tuning into this month's episode. I don't know if you've noticed, but I didn't do anything for December and basically all of January because I was taking a break. Not for anything really, I just decided to. I was running low on things to do, or I had a lot of priorities to take above all this. Again, this is just a hobby. I don't take this as seriously. But speaking of hobbies, I got a microphone. I hope you could see it. It's all snazzy and it's new, and I hope you like the audio. I'm still working out the tunes and the kinks. I'll of course always be improving on that. I guess the next step I should say is the camera. That's the next possible step I could take. So what's new for this year? Well, this year I got a few things planned. Very mainly just more of the same old stuff. Hope you guys look forward to it with this new microphone. And there might be a few surprises ahead. I'll try my hardest to be on schedule this time. One video every month, and it will be themed. I don't know if it will be themed or not, but I'm hoping it will be. As far as the next video goes, I'm well into production and started great progress on it. And there was a tease of it in the video somewhere. Hopefully someone can find and guess what it is. Maybe or not, I don't know. You'll have to look forward to it. Other than that, thank you very much for the first great year, obviously. I forgot to say that. My regards. And we could only go up from here, really. I got my new microphone. Audio is finally sounding better, and it will only get better from here. Thank you. See you in the next video.